Proszę o powstanie.
Amen.
Szanowni Państwo, otwieram uroczystości międzyuczelnianej inauguracji roku akademickiego 2022-2023 in Katowice,
the city of science, organized by the Katowice public universities. Let's sing the national anthem right now.
Po hymnie. Drodzy Państwo, proszę o zajęcie miejsc.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take seats.
Szanowni Państwo, dzisiejsza uroczystość będzie tłumaczona na polski język ludowy, a także będzie opatrzona napisami transmisji online z możliwością wykorzystania swoich urządzeń mobilnych. Dodatkowo oczywiście transmisja online będzie tłumaczona na język angielski. Dear guests, today's ceremony will be translated into Polish Sign Language, as well as subtitles are available during the online transmission. Of course, additionally, the online broadcast will be translated into English. Szanowni Państwo, dla mnie osobiście to prawdziwy zaszczyt prowadzić uroczystość w Katowicach, mieście nauki. 8 dni temu, dokładnie 8 dni temu, w Planetarium Śląskim zostało podpisane porozumienie w sprawie współpracy uczelni i władz naszego regionu, a dziś spotykamy się po raz kolejny na międzyuczelnianej inauguracji roku akademickiego 2022-2023, której organizatorem jest Konsorcjum Akademickie Katowice Miasto Nauki, którego
Katowice, the City of Science, consisting of the City of Katowice,
strategiczny partner konsorcjum,
the strategic partner of the consortium, the Karol Szymanowski Academy of Music in Katowice, the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice,
Akademia Wychowania Fizycznego imienia
the Jerzy Kukuczka Academy of Physical Education in Katowice, the Silesian University of Technology, the University of Medicine in Katowice, the University of Economics in Katowice, and the University of Silesia in Katowice as a leader. A partner of today's ceremony is the GZM Metropolis. The honorary patrons include the Minister of Education and Science, the Minister of Culture and National Heritage, Minister of Sports and Tourism, Minister of Health, Marshal of the Silesian Voivodeship, and President of the GZM Metropolis Board. The institutional partner is the National Polish Radio Symphonic Orchestra in Katowice, and now we would like to present to you the logo of the 2024 City of Science. It was designed by designers from the Katowice University of Fine Arts, and now I'm asking that Professor Grzegorz Hein present the idea for how this symbol was developed. Good morning.
Zanim rozpoczniemy prezentację, właściwie już rozpoczęliśmy, chcę powiedzieć i podziękować prezydentowi miasta.
I would like to start by thanking the mayor of the city of Katowice for inviting us to cooperate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we teach our students is that a good logo has to be good without a comment.
Odbierane zarówno na poziomie percepcyjnym, czyli
perceived
musi być identyfikowane w gęstej częstotkance
in the
tkance
dense
miejskiej,
tissue of a
ale
city,
również musi
but
być
also it has
dobrze
to
rozpoznawalne
be well
i czytelne, jak idzie o treść,
understood
którą
and
niesie.
legible in
To
terms
logo
of
w
the
oczywisty
content that
sposób,
it
te 7
carries.
elementów, które Państwo
The
widzicie,
7 elements that you
odnoszą się
see
do
right now refer
7, do tego trzonu konsorcjum,
to
jakim
the
jest 7
7
uczelni,
members
które
of
go
the
tworzą, ale
consortium,
tworzą
the 7 universities.
relacje między nimi i układ ich zagęszczenie tworzą formę nową. Ona oczywiście może kojarzyć się z formą przemysłową i takie skojarzenie jest jak najbardziej zasadne, celowe, ponieważ często mówiąc o tym, co tutaj się dzieje i w co jesteśmy zaangażowani, mówimy o tym jako nowym przemyśle nauki, więc to skojarzenie industrialne jest jak najbardziej na miejscu. Ale zwróćcie Państwo uwagę, że te 7 elementów, które symbolizują integrację i współpracę w środku,
cooperation and integration, they make up a star as a symbol of some aspiration, success. That's what we all hope for.
Ta gwiazda jest również elementem, co zaraz będzie widoczne,
in a moment you're going to see
innej konfiguracji
that star is also an element of a different configuration,
ten układ elementów staje się częścią logo miasta,
is becoming a part of the logo of the city as a reference to the source. And I believe that maybe my words are redundant because the animation that you see will tell you more. I would like to tell all the employees of the Academy of Fine Arts who have prepared this logo, and I think it's a very good opportunity to thank them for their work. Thank you very much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Mr. Mayor and directors, I'd like to welcome our guests. I'd like to welcome Wojciech Murcek, Secretary of State and Plenipotentiary of the Government for Research Institutes, Radosław Wieczorek, the Voivode of Silesia. I'd like to welcome Adrian Galbas, Jerzy Polaczek, the member to the parliament, Adrian Galbas, the Archbishop Coadjutor of the Archdiocese of Katowice, Marian Niemiec, Bishop of the Diocese of the Katowice of the Lutheran Church in Poland, Waldemar Dąbek, head of the Gliwice district, Małgorzata Mańka-Szulik, mayor of the city of Zabrze, Gabriela Staszkiewicz, mayor of Cieszyn, Waldemar Bojarun, deputy mayor of the city of Katowice, Mariusz Śpiewak, first deputy mayor of the city of Gliwice, Paweł Poszytek, director general of the Foundation for the Development of the Education System, director of the National Agency of the Erasmus Program and the European Solidarity Corps, Dawid Kostecki, director of the National Academic Exchange Agency, Stanisław Kistryn, vice chairman of the General Council for Science and Higher Education, Anna Budanowska, plenipotentiary for the European Capital of Science, Katowice 2024. Anna Krasuska-Terillon, honorary consul of the Republic of France in Katowice. And Mr. Marcin Tyslik, honorary consul of the Federal Republic of Germany in Gliwice. Professor Robert Władysław Ciborowski, His Magnificence Rector of the University of Białystok. Professor Bogdan Mochnacki, His Magnificence Rector of the Higher School of Labor Protection Management in Katowice. Dr. Jerzy Andrzej Przyborowski, His Magnificence Rector of the University of Warmia and Mazury in Olsztyn. Reverend Dr. Marek Panek, His Magnificence Rector of the Higher Silesian Seminar. Dr. Joanna Życińska, Professor of the SWPS University and Dean of that Katowice branch. Ewa Boguszmur, the Director of the NOSPR Concert Hall, and Robert Talarczyk, Director of the Stanisław Wyspiański Theatre in Katowice. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome deans, chancellors, academics, administrative staff, graduates, and students, and including PhD students of our universities. And I would like to welcome representatives of the educational, medical, uniformed business communities, representatives of cultural institutions, and the media. And I would like to welcome all the guests and all those who are viewing today's ceremony via online transmissions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a minute of silence to honor the persons who passed away in the last academic year. Please stand up.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you very much. I'd like to hand over the floor to Dr. Marcin Krupa, Mayor of the city of Katowice.
Wasze Magnificencje,
Your Magnificencies, Rectors, ladies and gentlemen, High Senates of our universities, honorable, wonderful guests invited to this ceremony of inauguration of the next academic year, dear students, dear employees, scientific, academic, educational employees of our universities, dear administrative workers of our universities. Welcome all the guests. I must say that I'm really touched today, because it seems to me that this day of inauguration of the academic year 2022-2023 is a specific moment and very historical moment, an exceptional one. For many years, for the first time, 7 our public universities took this effort to work collaboratively for the city of science, the European City of Science, that we are going to be in 2024. It is a big thing, because when we look at the last few years, actually at the last 3 decades of the growth of our city, the growth of our region and our metropolitan area, we can say that step by step we were implementing very important tasks in favor of our inhabitants. There was time to reconstruct the infrastructure, physical, technical infrastructure in our cities. There was a time, and it is still time, for showing anew our beautiful Silesian culture, the operation of our cultural institutions. And I think that now, today, is the time to show this next diamond in our Silesian crown, which is our higher education facilities, our universities. Dear guests, it's a great honor for every host of a city, for every host in the metropolitan area, for every host in our region, to have such a great scientific capital within our borders that is incorporated in our universities. I am exceptionally happy because I happen to be the kind of manager of the city of Katowice at the moment when the city of Katowice has 7 public universities and a huge number of private universities that we are really very proud of also. Together we create the capital and they give the opportunity of education for our young, and actually not only the youngest one, well, everybody can study in our universities, but we provide this opportunity of education from the fields of fine arts, cultural faculties like the Academy of Music, like technical science, humanities, economic science, and education on sports, on our healthy living lifestyle. I'm speaking about the Academy of Physical Education here. This is a capital that perhaps you realize we had it individually, but when together today at one table, we have this huge potential gathered here. This is a great value. In business, we call it win-win. It's a win for the city, it's a win for the inhabitants, it's a win for the universities. It's a symbiosis, actually, and it should be like this. It has always been like this, though we went a little bit parted, but today we have very great power. It's the only such a hub in Poland where we sit together at a single table and create a group of people focused on a single idea, the idea of increasing the education potential of our local community, but also the potential, the educational potential of our region, of our country, and what has already been noticed by Europe through the Euroscience institution, the European potential also. We can boast this potential about it. We can implement great investments that will allow this science, specifically here in Silesia, be another element to contribute to the development and growth of our country, that gives us more talented and well-educated people to perform functions in the society, in our economic life. I'm very happy, Mr. Minister, that you are here, because I know that we can count on you in all our activities related to investments, increasing the potential of science of our universities, so that they become a magnet not only for our young people from Poland, Polish students, but that they also attract students from abroad. And I am certain that together we can do it. Like the business term win-win, here we have the local government, we have universities, supportive business. What we need is only the good eye of the government at what we want to achieve here, and we will really become something we can boast about everywhere. Since it is the inauguration of the academic year, please take my best wishes for this new academic year to give us the new we expect, that it's full of satisfaction, not only of education of young people. I hope it will not only be a beautiful year for those young people, because they're touching upon something that was perhaps somewhere in the area of their dreams. But I hope that through this cooperation, beautiful cooperation, we all have the best, get the best of it. So all the best for this academic year 2022-2023. Thank you, Mayor. Now I would like Professor Ryszard Koziołek to take the floor, Rector of the University of Silesia, Vice Chairman of the Conference of Rectors of Polish Universities. Dear Mayor, dear Minister, my friends, rectors, magnificencies of the universities, together with the Silesian University, create the consortium of the City of Science, the rectors that gave us the honor of having them here today, honorable guests, representatives of the communities of our universities. We are witnessing something that was inconceivable. It's not that we could not imagine it, but we actually did not really think it would become reality. And it did happen. 7 public universities of this city walked across the streets of the city, and together in this beautiful hall, we decided to open the new academic year in this beautiful ceremony. The gesture has a far more significant meaning than any most beautiful ceremony. This presence in the city streets and in this hall is just to give you the message. Here we are here among you, for those of you that we work for, that we conduct studies and surveys and research, where we educate students, where we try to be helpful in any way whatsoever that a thinking human can pursue, following knowledge. We would like this awareness not only to be shared by us, the academia representatives, but we would like to share it with the inhabitants of the city, of this region. And we hope our example, our activities, our openness to cooperation will be inspiration for other communities in other academic cities in Poland. We are connected by the idea of a city of science. This idea was inspired by our application to get the title of the City of Science for Katowice. It's successful, and so it gave us an impulse, energy, and enthusiasm for further work. The City of Science quickly became something more than just a noble, prestigious title. The City of Science turned from idea to reality. It has become something that Italo Calvino, an Italian writer, named an invisible city. In his collection of essays dedicated to imaginary, non-existing cities, there's a moment where a famous traveler, Marco Polo, gets a commission from his principal, a huge and powerful Hein says, "Now, Marco, I will describe cities, and you, in your travels, will verify if they exist." This is what we are part of. We have described the City of Science, and now it's turned out it actually exists. And it's composed of our universities. It's enough to change the perspective. And suddenly we realize that for the last 100 years in this city, in this region, there have been new, powerful, ambitious academic hubs created here. Like in a cartoon, there was a map of the city and the universities emerge on it. And we just need to make connection, bridges, lines connecting them for cooperation and new ideas for the future. And this is happening. This invisible city became visible. This gave rise to the strongest idea of science. The basic task of those who choose this profession is to make it visible and graspable, everything that exists. We managed to do it. We managed to show to ourselves first, and soon I hope that we will show it to everybody who lives in this region, in the city, in this region, and in Poland and Europe, that the City of Science does exist, and we want to enlarge it and make it grow. We want to turn it into something incredible in terms of academic organisms in urban communities. I must admit that the City of Science was first noted by the mayor of Katowice and those that govern the city. The mayor grasped it in like a few seconds only to see our look and to perceive the City of Science here. And then he was joined by the marshal, by the voivode, and then by Professor Michael Matlosz, who, together with the management of Euroscience, noticed that Katowice is not only the city of science, but the city of European science. Our vivid, important task is to make the city of science visible by those who live in it, the inhabitants, who are not necessarily connected directly to the academia and to the university. Perhaps they have never been connected to them as students or parents of students or grandparents of students. Yet we would like everybody who travels along the area of our campuses that they can see tangible benefit from the fact that they live among students, among the academia, that the life becomes better, wiser, as every life led with friends surrounding you in everyday life that give you support and good advice. That's the way we would like to be. That's the city of science we would like to co-create. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. Now, on behalf of Professor Arkadiusz Mężyk, Rector of the Technical University of Silesia, we give you his best regards. Unfortunately, Professor could not be here with us, but I hope he's with us online. Now, Professor Marek Pawełczyk will read the letter. He's the, of the Rector. The Rector, Professor Arkadiusz Mężyk, gives his best regards, and I have the pleasure of reading his words. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Minister, Voivod, President, Mayors, Your Magnificencies, Councils of the University creating the Consortium of Katowice, City of Science 2024, members of the academic community, doctoral students, employees, and all the participants and audience of this transmission. This inauguration of the academic year is very special for all the universities in Katowice and for the city of Katowice itself, the promoter of science and partner in all kinds of undertakings, not only of regional range, but also national and international range. Gaining the title of the European City of Science 2024, it's an evidence of our achievements and a great success for our country, our region, and a great opportunity for further creative development. In this way, Upper Silesian has joined the prestigious circle of important scientific hubs, which by cooperation strengthen their position internationally. This use of the potential of Silesian universities is part of the huge concept of the functioning and integration of European universities, universities without walls. It's an investment in the better future. It's a way to scientific perfection and modern education, for creation of a place for entertainment and living. On the behalf of Confederation of Polish Rectors, I would like to congratulate the City of Katowice and the Consortium of Katowice City of Science for this historical achievement. As Rector, it's my pleasure and honor to represent the Technical University of Silesia, which is present in Katowice, Gliwice, Zabrze and Rybnik, and is part of the consortium. The Technical University of Silesia that co-creates the consortium draws its power from tradition and experience of 70 years of its existence, and the ambitions justified by the actual potential, which is proven by the participation in two programs, University of Research and European University. We carry out research in 12 areas and 6 fields. Our community is co-created by 220,000 graduates, almost 5,000 doctoral students and 3,000 employees. I wish for all of you that we use this opportunity to the maximum, the opportunity that is given by the collaboration of the universities with the support of science, social and economic environment. The rector has also given me another letter. As the chair of the Confederation of Universities in Poland, dear ladies and gentlemen, magnificencies, and members of the consortium of the City of Science, on behalf of universities associated in CRASP, the consortium of universities, please take my congratulations of this Interuniversity Inauguration of academic year 2023-2024 in the City of Science in Katowice. The ceremony of inauguration of this academic year in Katowice is strictly related to the achievement of the title of the City of Science. It's the first time where a academic city in Poland has been granted this title. It's a huge effort of all the communities of the universities that are based in this city. I would like to send my huge words of respect and congratulations, because it shows that your efforts have been perceived and noted by Euroscience. I think it's a beginning of our tasks that will contribute to the development of our region and the universities that are members of the consortium. I wish you all the best and good luck in this moment, and I send my words of respect. Arkadiusz Mężyk. Thank you for these words. Ladies and gentlemen, now Professor Celina Olszak, Rector of the University of Economics in Katowice, President of the Regional Conference of Rectors of Academic Schools. Please, the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, dear academic community, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests. Science and academia have no borders, because they're based on, underpinned with curiosity for new knowledge and for change. Science is like a life constellation, which, depending on the situation and constraints and conditions, it determines new challenges, show us new ways of thinking and acting. Science, specifically today, needs autonomy and independence, but it also needs unity. Unity gives us more safety, but also it takes us to a higher level of sensitivity and responsibility. Unity can be compared to synergy, which is not just an arithmetical sum, but it is a sum with an excess that cannot be achieved when working independently and individually. Today's joint inauguration is an example showing how the academic community uses this phenomenon of synergy that we observe in nature, this intellectual capital of 7 public universities in Katowice, including the University of Economics in Katowice, are combined, integrated with the urban tissue for the greater common good, which is co-creation of the City of Science and creative and smart region. More than 6,000 scientists, 60,000 students offer the talent, their wisdom, their experience to the inhabitants of the city, of the region, but also of the country. emphasizing that science and academia are not a tower of ivory, but it's a social, very responsible investment. I truly believe, dear guests, that this unity, this sensitivity that we have will be a background not only for our further activities, but it will actually release our joy of what we do. And it will create an opportunity and hope for a better future for all of us. Vivat Academia, vivat profesores. Thank you very much.
Professor Władysław Szymański, Rector of the Academy of Music in Katowice. Ladies and gentlemen, the Karol Szymanowski Academy of Music in Katowice is starting its 94th year of activity. It was the first higher education university within this region after Poland regained independence. And we have to say again that the then authorities of this region saw this need, which today again we also see in the current authorities of the city, of the region, i.e. the need to promote culture, to promote arts, to promote music. Still, remember that the roots of this region is hard work and also celebration. And celebration, that's also music at home, within your family, in a church, in an orchestra, in a choir. And that was evident on a daily basis in this region. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 93 years, the Academy of Music in Katowice was graduated by multiple great musicians, composers, instrumentalists, jazzmen, musical theory specialists, educators. Some of them took their highest positions in the world of music, while others were world-renowned too. Their achievements are part of the musical culture of the entire humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, the Academy of Music in Katowice is operating on a daily basis in its classrooms, but that work also translates into social effects. Apart from this room in which we are staying right now and the Katowice Philharmonic, in our university we have the third Philharmonic in Katowice, so whoever would like to hear some good music, please feel invited to visit us. We develop new ideas, scientific ideas and music ideas. And the best example of a translation of our activity, of our academic activity into social effects is today's concert that we're going to listen to in a moment, because most musicians within this Philharmonic Orchestra are graduates and professors from the Karol Szymanowski University of Music in Katowice. The soloist is also our employee. Today we will hear the pieces from one of the most famous world-renowned composer, but more about it in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting a new year. We have a lot of hopes, a lot of optimism, despite the difficulties that we are seeing in the future, and the fact that we are here together as rectors and the authorities of the city and region. This shows that if we come to an agreement, we can do something that's going to be great. And I'm sure that all the assumptions that we make today will come through. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. Professor Grzegorz Hein, Rector of the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice. Ladies and gentlemen, On the one hand, it's great to speak after such other great speakers, but on the other hand, my speech is not going to be too long. Well, I want to join your enthusiasm, your happiness. I'm talking about on behalf of our creators of the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice, i.e. artists, designers, because these are the two pillars on which our university is based. Well, what I mean to say is that the consortium that we are enjoying is just the beginning. Our objective is clear. It's an impulse for change, a fundamental change for the region. And for the change not to be chaotic, we have to imagine it first. In our academy, we concentrate really well on imagination, and that's what we can offer to other universities. Well, we have already started working together, for example, about the river in Katowice, and it's a difficult issue. Well, art has some tools, has some platforms to introduce some difficult issues into our agenda. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, Professor Grzegorz Juras, Rector of the Academy of Physical Education in Katowice. Dear Magnificences, Mr. Mayor, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear students, well, like my predecessor said, each subsequent speech should be shorter. I won't promise anything, but I'll do my best. As you must have realized, this event would not be possible without the title of the European City of Science. So we meet at the 2022-2023 academic year inauguration, but we're talking about the year 2024. And yes, that's true. And I'm very happy that in that challenge, in that project, the Academy of Physical Education is one of the participants. I have the honor to represent this university. I believe we're going to add our contribution to this project. Our modest share will be, I believe, will be a significant share for the final project. Well, we can bring our enthusiasm, knowledge, experience in transferring the achievements of fundamental sciences to sports, but also there is research related to healthy aging. Healthy aging, and our competences are demonstrated by the medals won by our students and sports people at the Olympics or European or World Championships. But on the other hand, during the recent evaluation, we received the A+ grade. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in 2024 there will be two significant events, at least two. I'll just mention two. The first is the Paris Olympics. The second one is the moment when we are going to celebrate the title of the European City of Science. It seems to be it wouldn't be possible with our joint participation in this challenge. This idea is something that unites us. And I'll maybe repeat something that someone once said that I've remembered, and I think it's a good summary of what I would like to say. And the point is not only that we here reach this objective, but that we all, the ones present here, undertake that challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a lot of health, peace, and if I can see my students, to you I'd like to say, I hope that on your path you only meet challenging lecturers.
teraz poproszę o zabranie głosu profesora doktora.
Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Tomasz Szczepański, Rector of the Medical University of Silesia in Katowice. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I wish for you and for myself at the beginning of this new academic year? Yeah, Rector Juras actually was ahead of me because I wanted to wish you health, and there's no health without modern medicine that we have in Silesia, and it's growing and developing, and this is our contribution of our university into the city of science, the education and research on pharmaceuticals, health and medical sciences. So I wish you all the best for this new academic year. I'm really happy to be here with the other 6 universities, and I hope that we can work for the good of the region, because what's the most important is that the region does not shrink, that it grows and develops. And thinking about its industrial origins, we need to invest in new technologies and a new medicine. So all the best to all of you. Thank you, Professor. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like everybody to stand up. Now I would like to ask Rector, Professor Celina Oszak, to officially open the academic year. Ladies and gentlemen, dear academic community, students, doctoral students, honorable guests, I am opening the academic year of 2022-2023. May it be good, successful, happy, and fruitful. Quod bonum felix Faustum fortunantum quesit.
Dziękuję bardzo. Można usiąść.
Thank you very much. Please sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I'd like to hand over the microphone to Jarosław Wieczorek and the Voivode of Silesia, representing the Prime Minister, Mr. Mateusz Morawiecki. Mr. Voivode. Mr. Minister, Mr. Mayor, dear Magnificence, dear Archbishop, dear Bishop, dear professors, dear honorable guests and students. Today I have the honor to read a letter from Mr. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki. It's a great honor to be able to be here in this room today. This is a great, beautiful place in Silesia, in Poland, and one of the best, most beautiful such places in Europe. Dear Magnificences, dear ladies and gentlemen, the inauguration of a new academic year is a great celebration. It's the time when the universities have plans for the upcoming months and start to work. It's the beginning of a new chapter in the lives of freshman students, but also of the entire academic community. On this special day, I would like to wish representatives of the Katowice universities, I would like to give them my words of honor and respect. Today's ceremony is special because you're celebrating it for the first time together, united in this ambitious goal. With the title of the European City of Science as the first academic city in Poland, Katowice was selected as host of the Open Forum of Science 2024, the organization of one of the most prestigious scientific and technological events in the world. That's a great opportunity, but also a great challenge. But I am sure that through cooperation within the consortium, you will manage to face that challenge. And I believe that this cooperation will be good, developing the academic life in Katowice and in Poland. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic community has a special meaning for the international community. Graduates of universities on an annual basis become experts, leaders in different areas of life. But for it to be possible, their talents, their enthusiasm, their energy have to come together with the knowledge of the professors who have become proficient in their areas. The quality of their work and their effects develop the future of our homeland. That's why this consortium has to be congratulated, and I hope that the starting academic year 2022-23 allow you to manage the challenges without any difficulties, and I hope that your ambitious objectives will be met. I hope that the upcoming months will bring you happiness in joint work and satisfaction in its long-term and short-term results. With respect, President of the Council of Ministers, Mateusz Morawiecki. Ladies and gentlemen, on my own behalf, I would also like to wish you all the best in this starting academic year. I've heard that the choir also consists of representatives of all 7 universities in Katowice, and so this harmony that we can hear today, with this harmony, I'm sure that at the scientific level the cooperation will be great too. Ladies and gentlemen, now Wojciech Murczek, Secretary of State and Plenipotentiary of the Government for the Reform of the Functioning of Research Institutes. Dear Magnificences, Mr. Mayor, dear guests whose titles have already been listed, representatives of different institutions, well, this is a special moment we can all see, and we all emphasize it. I will start by congratulating to the students, because today the students are starting this special academic year. It's special in this region and in this country because to have a good venue for development of your own personality, intellect, to develop your knowledge, that's a very important thing. Because if you look forward and the capital of science, this also provides you with the method of looking forward. And you have the point of view of creating a good place for living and for functioning for children, for youth, and then youth, the students, will become employees in the universities, and they will give back everything good that has been invested in them. That's why I believe that the students of these special universities, very good universities, may have the feeling that they are participating in this great story, adventure, and they will experience the master-student relationship in the best universities, the universities that demonstrate something special, the ability to cooperate. And in today's world, the world of many challenges, of many unprecedented challenges in the history of civilization, because let's remember that the pandemic has been one-of-a-kind events. The events in Ukraine, the results have not been foreseen. And I believe that to look for the answers to some problems through science, through cooperation, in the sense of self-development and the development of the entire community, that is a great challenge and a great adventure. And if you have a crisis, you should take a wise attitude, making use of the richness of human intellect. In Silesia, for decades, people were digging underground, trying to reach what was worth having, but now we're trying to dig within human intellect, so as to get what's priceless and to make it our a thing that we can all enjoy, this potential. And like you saw in this animation today, these 7 universities are going to also affect other universities too, the private ones, other universities within the region. And I think the evaluation of that animation in several years will be interesting. And because I believe we will then see that these effects will affect not only Poland, but also the world and Europe. And we will see the effects of your work in the map of the world, because I'm sure that these effects are present and are going to be present here. And it's going to be a good example on a large scale. And so as our future is more and more friendly to our life, so that the quality of our life is improved. And well, we all follow the achievements in the areas of culture of Katowice, of Upper Silesia. We follow sport successes. As a side note, recently I saw a game here in Spodek that our volleyball players won with the American team, and I hope that in science it will be the same. I hope that this synergy that we have here, the ability to have interdisciplinary undertakings, because this is the added value that counts, I hope that this will lead to successes where Polish science can be confronted with European science, with global science. I hope we're going to have something to brag about. We need to brag about our successes. We've already had a lot, because the adventure that's the crowning of which is this day, this adventure is already happening. It's not that we have had no good relations between us, among us. No, we have trusted each other, and now we want to do it even better. That's what has been going on, and I hope it's going to be a good example. And the cooperation among universities will also result in cooperation among local government units with businesses. And I hope that these flowers are going to be very ripe, because the ground, the soil is very good, and I believe the fruits of our cooperation will be beautiful. And I wish, and I would like to congratulate to you on all of the successes. And from the ministerial level, we will support your activities. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I'd like to thank the Upper Silesian and Zagłębie Metropolis, the GZM Metropolis, which is also an important element of the Katowice City of Science 2024. I'd like to thank everyone for the letters with congratulations. Right now, a very important moment. On behalf of all universities within the consortium, we will hear the official oath by students and PhD students of the University of Silesia. We will go to the most ceremonial element of this entire event, the immatriculation of the new students and the official academic oath. Please follow this statement and let's listen to it. These simple words are to express your awareness of this gift that you are receiving today. The possibility to become educated, to educate your mind, your character, your will. I'm asking now Professor Ryszard Koziołek, His Magnificence, Rector of the University of Silesia, to take the oath, the academic oath, from the freshman students and PhD students of the University of Silesia. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let's see the most important participants of today's event, the persons who will be the future of our work and the ones who will take over after our work. I am asking that these students take the position to give the oath. I'm going to read this out, and please let's all stand up right now. And please, dear students, repeat after me by saying, I solemnly vow that I will persistently strive to acquire knowledge and develop my personality. To relate respectfully to university authorities and all members of the university community. To respect the laws and customs of academia and, with all our conduct, to take care of the dignity and honor of the student of the University of Silesia. Thank you very much. Right now, the PhD students are asked to take the position to give the oath. Being aware of my duties as a doctoral student of the University of Silesia, I solemnly vow to persistently strive to acquire knowledge and develop my own personality, to relate respectfully to the university authorities and all members of the university community, to respect the academic laws and customs, to take care of my own dignity and of the good name of the university. Thank you very much.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Very much. Now please take your seats. I would like to thank His Magnificence Rector of the University of Silesia for performing the act of matriculation. It's the first momentous act of the new academic year, so thank you for conducting those momentous ceremony of taking the academic oath from a group of doctoral students starting this very serious advanced phase of their studies. This year, let me remind you, on behalf of all the universities in the consortium, the oath was taken by the students and doctoral students of the University of Silesia. Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Marek Pawełczyk, Vice Chancellor for Science and Development of the Silesian University of Technology. Dear students, doctoral students, it was a very honorable moment. So I really congratulate you for becoming members of our community. Students, doctoral students, it's a special moment for you. It's a great honor for you, but you represent a huge group of all our students and doctoral students from our universities. And I think, and I hope, and all of you feel how important it is when the first time you become members of this huge consortium of the 7 universities. In these, their wonderful words, the Prime Minister and the Rector have expressed the most important things. But let me add just a few words from myself. And let me forward congratulations to Professor Arkadiusz Mężyk. You are having a great opportunity to cooperate with the students of other universities in Silesia. We very often see this cooperation between students developing dynamically. We, as the authorities of the university and staff of the university, will be able to learn from you. I hope that after some time we will be proud of what we have achieved, of what the success that we're planning to achieve. If you are successful in your life, in your career, it will also be the success of our universities. And if we are successful, you will always be proud of where you've studied. You're studying in university where there's always been, at the universities in Silesia, where there has been the strong ethics of work. But it will be great work for you. You need to be involved in it so that it grows into passion. The opportunities we want to create for you are exceptional. They stem from this cooperation, from the fact that we are modernizing the education that we offer in our universities. We open our universities internationally. Our universities cooperate strictly with European universities from all over the world. This, for you, is also unprecedented. Without internationalization, there's no chance for bigger success. So it's important that you look for all these opportunities of cooperation and that everything you get and gain, that you translate it into your friends, colleagues who need some support, some incentive, some encouragement. Let's care of our own community. Thank you very much, Professor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we give the floor to our students and doctoral students, and the first to speak is the president of the student government of the Silesian University of Technology, Ms. Katarzyna Ptaszyńska. The floor is yours. Magnificencies, directors, students, doctoral students, honorable guests. It's a great honor for me to welcome you on behalf of all the students of the University of Technology, Silesian University of Technology, on the day of the inauguration of the 22-23 academic year, especially in this beautiful hall of the Symphonic Orchestra of the Polish Radio. As it has been said, it's the first time the title of the City of Science has been granted to a Polish academic city. We should be honored that we can study in one of the Silesian universities. And now I would like to address all the students present in this room and watching the stream, the live stream. Every one of you has chosen their path. I hope all of you are where you want, in the faculty you want. But studies is not only about learning. It's where the best memories of your life are created. You'll be coming back to them all lifelong. You can stake on self-development and discovering yourselves anew. It's up to you how you use this time and what you put on the chart, on the pages of this book of your university history. So I wish for all of you that it's a fruitful time, this moment, which has been and will be a great adventure for all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, the University of Silesia, President of the Student Government of the University of Silesia, Tomasz Janocha, the floor is yours. Your Magnificence, rectors, senates, ladies and gentlemen, but mainly you, my colleagues, students, my peers, students of the Silesian universities. When I first crossed the walls of the University of Silesia, I never thought that I would be speaking in front of 60,000 students in this solemn inauguration of the academic year. Silesia is undoubtedly becoming a scientific powerhouse in place of the heavy industry that until recently dominated our region. You're becoming members of a great community of scholars and learners in the largest academic center in Poland. Our Silesian universities have joined forces and are preparing together to celebrate the European City of Science in 2024. This is a major event for which preparations have long since begun, and today's inauguration is only a confirmation of this cooperation. Studying is one of the most fascinating times in our life, so be brave. Don't be afraid to take on challenges and get involved willingly in the activities that your universities are undertaking. You're more than welcome to join societies or local government organizations, but also to get involved in academic clubs or sections. Because with such inflation, what else is there to invest in but your own development? Only university gives you the opportunity to develop in such a wide range of areas without the pressure of achieving great results. One professor says, the first 5 years at the university are the hardest, but then it's all piece of cake. The 5 years don't have to be that difficult. Make the most of them. Remember, however, that at the university you have an opportunity to meet your friends or lifelong loves. Don't forget to nurture these valuable relationships. Studying is not all there is for a student. May this coming academic year be happy, supportive, prosperous. Let's enjoy the university as our common good. We have a great responsibility for the relationships between us and for the equal treatment of all male and female students, staff, regardless of their beliefs, religion, sexual orientation, or any other aspects. The university is a synonym of equality. We all create it, and each of us individually creates it. The place where I welcome my colleagues today are starting this adventure of studying is one large and a very diverse community of scholars and learners. Learning community, that is the key word, that essence. Let's never forget it, because science will provide our future. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for starting the whole avalanche of memories in my head from my years of university. Now Katarzyna Szałapska-Rąbała, a doctoral student in the 4th year of doctoral studies in pharmaceutical sciences at the Medical University of Silesia. Please, the floor is yours. Dear rectors and deans, distinguished guests, dear students and doctoral students, on behalf of the Doctoral Student Council of the Silesian Higher Education Institution, it's my honor to welcome you on this special day when we are solemnly beginning the new academic year 2022-2023. I would like to extend a particularly warm welcome to students and doctoral students for whom the adventure with the University of a region is just beginning. Every great achievement starts with a decision. Those of you who have recruited for university or for doctoral school have already made this decision. It only remains for me to wish you to persevere in it. Remember, dear students and doctoral students, that a stage in your life has begun when it's no longer enough to absorb the available knowledge, but you need to add something of your own into it. This does not relieve us from the obligation to keep up to date with the knowledge. On the contrary, just as in life, we must learn the rules in order to know how to modify them in the best way and at the right moment. Will this be easy? Probably not. However, I believe that each one of you will find your own individual solution to this. Ladies and gentlemen, on this special day, I would like to wish the entire academic community, and in particular the doctoral students, a fruitful and satisfying academic year that has just begun. Thank you. Thank you very much for these words. Now I would like to give the floor to the President of Doctoral Student Self-Government of the University of Economics in Katowice, Mr. Jakub Kubicek. Dear rectors, the academic community, honored guests. Being in this place, standing on this stage and participating in this event, it's an enormous honor for me. Because today I'm not only representing the doctoral students from my academic unit, but the entire community of doctoral students from the Upper Silesian metropolitan area. Referring to the success that is the granting of the title of European City of Science to Katowice, one should consider what science is. Science as a process is a journey, while a scientist is a traveler who explores unexplored, uncovered regions of reality. According to the Latin premia gaudium in litteris est, the joy lies precisely in learning, so the experiencing of the process of science itself and the discovery made by acquisition of new skills. Learning does a lot of good for an individual. You don't need to look far for examples. When a child learns to walk, they start moving more efficiently, and by learning to speak, they can communicate better. Given the scale of humanity as a whole, which has acquired relevant knowledge for generations, we as a society have made a whole series of discoveries. I am convinced that it's the desire to contribute to the development of civilization that was the main determinant in many of us choosing such a life path. We doctoral students are only at the beginning of our academic career. As researchers, we are searching for our own path while trying to shape our own scientific identity. Our interests are extremely diverse, and we conduct research in many disciplines. However, the glue that binds us is science. The awarding of the title of European City of Science to Katowice as a result of the joint universities, cooperation of universities, is a sign that shows that science does indeed unite. In the coming year, I wish you much success and above all joy, not only in creating science, but also sharing your knowledge with others. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now the inauguration lecture that will be given by Professor Michael Matlosz, who has a BA title in chemistry, and again from the University of New Jersey, and a degree of the University of Berkeley. Now he's a professor of University, Department of Chemical Engineering and Applied Chemistry at the University of Lorraine in North France. In 2020, he was selected for the second term of office. Now, the transitioning together university cities for all, the positive change for all, will be given by our special guest, Professor Michael Matlosz, President of Euroscience.
Dzień dobry. I have now used all. I've prepared a short speech for today, but before I do that, I would like to just mention a personal note. This is my 4th visit to Katowice, and that's one of the characteristics of choosing a city by the Euroscience Association to be the European City of Science for a year, is that for 2 or 3 or 4 years before that happens, we get to know a city very well. And I am beginning to feel like the people that I know here, the president of city council, the rector of the university and others, they're beginning to feel more like my friends than simply acquaintances that I meet in a formal meeting. And so I'm very, very happy. They keep inviting me back, so maybe you will see me again. But I'm particularly happy to be here. So, dear members, and I would say friends of the Interuniversity community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely honored and grateful for the invitation that you've extended to me to present this inaugural lecture today. And I'm very happy to be with you here in Katowice, European City of Science 2024. We're celebrating today the start of a new inter-university year. Traditionally a moment of great expectation for students, faculty, and staff alike, and more generally for us all. The university student community is looking forward to learning, getting involved, taking new courses, making new friends, beginning new activities in sport, music, art, or elsewhere, and more generally, just having fun. The university faculties and staff are excited to be sharing and transmitting knowledge and expertise, meeting new students, teaching a new generation, often with the support of new technologies, and also exploring new ideas, discovering new phenomena, and gaining through research and reflection, new insights and understanding of the world around us, both past and present, and applying new methods and approaches for the creation of knowledge for the generations to come. Expectations are high, and traditionally at this time of the year, we are all looking forward to the future. But is that really the case in 2022? Are we truly confident that we will, in fact, have a future? What are we experiencing today? Unprovoked military aggression in Eastern Europe in flagrant violation of established international law on an unprecedented scale in our lifetimes. Increasing threats to the availability of the energy and raw materials so indispensable for our standard of living and for our national economies. Record shortages of food and other bare necessities for millions of our fellow human beings within and beyond Europe and throughout the world. And a climate crisis that is only just beginning and to which we must all adapt as individuals in our behaviors and as societies in our structures and organizations. All of this following a global pandemic that for more than 2 years has taken millions of lives and profoundly affected our families, our interpersonal relations, our working environments, and our personal well-being. In the face of these major threats and impending risks, we might feel overwhelmed and frightened for our future. But fear should not be our response. Someone that many of you may remember, Katowice, future Pope John Paul II, announced in his inaugural address in Rome on the 22nd of October, 1978, at that time, in the second half of the 20th century, and in the face of the tremendous challenges of a sharply polarized world, major political unrest and division, and an acute energy crisis, a bold and optimistic approach for taking on the challenges of the present and preparing for the future. I would like to propose to you today, as we enter a new phase of transition for humanity in the 21st century, to recall that address pronounced by Jean Paul II in 1978 as a message for all of us today. The message is simple, but also courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Faced with the major challenges of our era, as in previous periods of human history, we must gather our collective intelligence and advance together, without fear, towards our common future. I am convinced that universities, all universities, as part of their urban environments and as responsible actors in those urban environments, are now more than ever essential to mobilizing our collective intelligence and creating the world of tomorrow. Not alone, not as unconnected ivory towers, not separated from the populations around them without societal accountability. No. To be effective, active universities must be integrated into the towns, cities, metropolitan areas, and regions in which they are situated, and act together with the local environment to achieve dynamic, sustainable, and responsible development in the interest of the entire population, and not only of the students and faculty within the university structures themselves. In 2022, here in Katowice and throughout Europe and throughout the world, we are entering into a period of fundamental transition of our economies and of our societies. Two major transitions immediately come to mind. First, an ecological transition necessary for the survival of a population soon to exceed more than 8 billion human beings. What is at stake is the sustainable cohabitation of the human species with the other living species on our planet Earth in the face of significant climate change, as well as growing threats to biodiversity and ecosystems. Second, an energy transition, moving away from the use of fossil hydrocarbons, such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas, with the goal of more reliable, more self-sufficient energy production with locally available resources such as sunlight, wind, and biomass. What is at stake is not only to avoid the risk of even more extreme climate change scenarios by the end of the 21st century, but also to reduce the recurrent geopolitical pressures, conflicts, and hostilities created by the unbalanced distribution of fossil hydrocarbon reserves across the planet. These major transitions in ecology and energy are not isolated from each other, and are not isolated from the other fundamental changes in our economies and our societies. It suffices to think of the impact of the digital revolution, the accelerating breakthroughs in nanotechnology and biotechnology, and the rapid evolutions in lifestyle and expectations of the new generations of youth, to understand that the world of tomorrow will be different from the world of today. We at Euroscience, the European Association for the Advancement of Science and Technology, believe that scientific research and exploration in a framework of academic freedom and in all scientific disciplines, including the physical sciences, life sciences, social sciences, and humanities, can and must, as they have throughout the past, constitute an essential contribution to the effective achievement of the fundamental transitions before us. And we also believe that universities are a vital element in producing that contribution. But there is also an urgent need for change in the way we look at science in, with, and for society, and the way that scientists look at what they do and how they can adapt their own professional practice as responsible members of society, and not as isolated actors unconcerned by the social environment in which they live and work. To achieve that goal, it is essential that universities act in synergy with their immediate social environments, first and foremost with the cities and regions in which they operate. But they must also look beyond their borders, invest in international networks, and exchange with others on best practice. Effective dialogue and interaction between academic institutions and the urban communities that surround them is for us, at Euroscience, an essential vector for positive change. And it is for that reason that we have now been granting for more than a decade, every 2 years, the title of European City of Science to an urban area dedicated to developing and experimenting new approaches and initiatives that position science and research as vital elements in an integrated approach to urban development and transformation. The challenges for Katowice and for Silesia in the transition from an industrial economy anchored in the extraction of coal to a knowledge-based economy through synergy between the universities and the city was the major factor in the choice of Euroscience to grant the title of European City of Science 2024 to Katowice. I would like to congratulate both the city, the metropolitan area, and the region, as well as the Interuniversity Consortium for their successful bid for the title. We recognize that organizing the complex academic consortium around the City of Science is not always going to be easy. They look happy today, but you know, that's because we're wearing these gowns. But otherwise, it's going to be tough. It's not always easy, but it is really at the heart of the transition. Working together, getting to know each other, finding common goals. Academic institutions have always had a transformative effect on cities and regions. That has been done through their ability to attract and train intelligent, curious, creative, and innovative minds who can act as citizens of change. But also through the capacity to raise the profile of a city or region across borders and provide focal points for exchange and mutual learning with other institutions, cities, and regions through, for example, conferences such as the Future International Euroscience Open Forum to be held in your region in 2024 with participants from around the world. For the audience who may not be familiar with this, the Euroscience Open Forum in 2024 will also be held in Silesia, and we would like at that time to draw the attention to not only the local aspect, but also the international, European aspect of what you are doing here. Academic institutions can be agents for positive change for cities and regions, but in order to create this transformative effect, academic institutions must not be a separate entity within the city's perimeter, unconnected to the general population. On the contrary, the academic institutions must be an integral part of the city's cultural and economic ecosystem with, among other goals, the objective of bringing science closer to citizens. To profit from the transformative effects of academic institutions, cities and regions must provide the framework conditions for academic institutions to thrive and fulfill their purpose of attracting and training new talents, providing insights and assisting in evidence-based policymaking, as well as acting as independent and critical observers and sounding boards. But in a similar manner, this is not a one-way street, The academic institutions themselves must be open to change in their own organization, structures, and professional practice, in particular through support for young, early career teaching and research faculty, and for innovative approaches to teaching, learning, discovering, exploring, sharing, and publishing research and knowledge. The future of universities in this connection also involves changes in professional practice on other levels, including increased attention to questions of scientific integrity, ethics, and inclusiveness. I do not wish to be overly prescriptive since the initiative remains with you, all of you, as actors in the university, cities, and region, and we hope to be surprised by unexpected approaches and ideas that you may have. Nevertheless, I would like to suggest a few modest recommendations as president of Euroscience, and from the perspective of our vision. And what is our vision? As the European Society for the Advancement of Science and Technology, our vision is the creation of a scientific workforce that creates positive change for society. Not positive change for itself, positive change for society. A few recommendations in this connection for the students. I mentioned this international conference, Euroscience Open Forum, known as ESOF, which will be organized in 2024. For those of you who are still here in 2024, I think you could use that conference to look beyond the borders of your individual disciplines, get new perspectives from other disciplines, institutions, and countries. I think also, as young people getting involved in the scientific endeavor, you might be interested in getting involved in associations such as Euroscience to develop the future role and societal impact of the various science professions. Scientific researchers, but also science teachers, science communicators, science journalists, science policymakers, and many others. And our association is not composed only of researchers, but also communicators, journalists, policymakers, and many others. There are lots of careers out there. This is a parenthetical remark. Many people who are doing, for example, studies at the university believe that the only career path is in the university. Not to be unpleasant with our university colleagues, but there are many, many other opportunities, and you should keep your eyes open for them. For the faculty members, a couple of ideas. To use the European City of Science label 2024 without waiting for 2024, and I see you're already doing it today. To enact with the society at large on a personal level, with mutual respect and in a spirit of true dialogue. And then to use the Euroscience Open Forum event in 2024 to look to new places and institutions beyond Silesia and Poland for collaborations and new networks, and to act not only as ambassadors for Katowice, the voivodeship of Silesia and Polish science, but also to use the opportunity to learn and exchange best practices with others. Finally, for policymakers and those who are like the representatives of the City Council here, to use the title of European City of Science 2024 as much as possible, to leverage investment in education and research in order to strengthen the scientific ecosystem of Katowice for a more sustainable future. We at Euroscience are proud to be associated with Katowice in its ambitious project to place science at the center of its transition to a sustainable knowledge-based economy and society. I thank you once again for your invitation to come and to speak to you today, and I wish you a successful and exciting inter-university year 2022-2023. Thank you very much.
Professor, thank you very much for this inspirational lecture. Panie profesorze, bardzo dziękuję za ten wykład.
Thank you very much for the inspiring lecture, Professor. It's the first lecture in this academic year. Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Tomasz Szczepański, Doctor of Medical Sciences, Professor of Medical Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself and on behalf of rectors of the universities forming the consortium of the academic Katowice City of Science, I would like to thank all those who contributed to the preparation and organization of this event. And these preparations lasted a long time. We would like to thank all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Mayor Marcin Krupa and Director Ewa Bogusz-Moore for the opportunity to hold this ceremony at the seat of NOSPR, the most beautiful building we have in Katowice. Upper Silesian and Zagłębie Metropolis, I would like to thank you for supporting this new event in our region. We hope that this first Interuniversity Inauguration of the academic year will start a new tradition and will be for good in our calendars. I would like to extend my thanks for the academic choirs for making the ceremony so special. Your voices had wonderful. The choir of the Institute of Musical Arts at the University of Silesia, conducted by Professor Aleksandra Zeman. The academic choir of the Silesian University of Technology under the direction of Mr. Tomasz Giedwiło. The choir of the Medical University of Silesia in Katowice under the direction of Marta Zielińska. The choir of the University of Economics in Katowice under the direction of Michał Rożka, and the silent choir of the University of Silesia under the direction of Ms. Anna Wojtaszek. Thank you very much. Moreover, I would like to send my word of thanks to the invited guests, staff, students, and doctoral students. And you are here, the hall is full, it's the magic of NOSPR. We were afraid that there would be some empty seats, but we don't see many of them. So thank you for being here and for celebrating this moment with us. I would also like to thank all the administrative workers of all the universities of the consortium for the preparation of the ceremony. Actually, we could get to know each other in this administrative work, and there was a lot of tedious work that has been carried out. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you for this dream inauguration, the orchestra, the medical service, the police officers securing today's ceremony, and the beautiful procession. And thank all of you for the inauguration of the Interuniversity Inauguration of the academic year has become a reality thanks to the passion, commitment, and the work of all of you. The plan of organizing the Interuniversity Inauguration of the academic year has become reality. So thank you very much once again to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this moment will be remembered for a long time because we are here in Katowice in the city of European City of Science 2024. Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Grzegorz Hein, Rector of the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice. Now, this is my third last, I promise, entry I have this year. I would like to invite you to one more event. It's a tradition of the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice that we organize an exhibition for the inauguration of the academic year. And it's not far from here, so I would like to invite you at 6 p.m., not right after the ceremony, but at 6 p.m. to Rondo Sztuki. It's an exhibition called Signs of Good. It's being organized as an open curatorship open call, which was won by a team that decided to base the narrative of this exhibition on a book by Małgorzata Musierowicz, Świadka Lawiora, that's the title. And we have this experimental group that studies the impact of smiling on every person's life. So if you're interested, please join us at Rondo Sztuki at 6 p.m. today for this exhibition. You're most welcome. Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Władysław Szymański, Rector of the Karol Szymanowski Academy of Music in Katowice. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, it's a creative city of UNESCO music. There's no ceremony without music, which is quite normal. So after a small break, we will invite you to a short concert that we will hear two works of our graduates of Wojciech Kilar, who became internationally known. Then there will be a music poem, and then a four-part work by Wojciech Kilar on the piano was created by him to commemorate the victims of the Smolensk disaster. And then we will hear a work that was a breakthrough work by Kilar, where he broke with the modernistic past and returned to traditional melody and Morska's ways of expression. That's the second part of the concert. We will hear it. We'll have pianist Krzysztof Książek as a solist. It will be directed by Antoni Wit, and obviously the symphonic orchestra will be playing, of the Polish radio will be playing. So now please stand up. I would like Professor Grzegorz Jurow of the Rector of the Academy of Physical Academy in Katowice to close the inauguration of the academic year. Well, if I have a mic, I'm a teacher, so I want to say something. Obviously, that's a natural thing. But, well, you already mentioned that we're successful sports-wise, but if Tomasz Szymański did not remind about that, like 2.5 hours ago, when we were on the squirt market of Katowice, we would not remember about it anymore. There's so much positive vibes before the concert. So many optimistic words have been uttered. There's no fear here. There's a lot of hope, a lot of enthusiasm. And I think it's the best way to start a new academic year. So I announce the inauguration of the academic year 2022-2023 officially closed.
Szanowni Państwo, część oficjalna dzisiejszej uroczystości za nami, a ja proszę mi wybaczyć, nie mogę się oprzeć tej pokusie.
Please, I need to say this. Please go to the break. We will see you in 20 minutes.